The last season at Filbert Street didn't exactly get off to a flying start. City were 4-0 down by half-time, with no real chance of turning things round. 2 goals from Nolan and a belter from Ricketts did the damage. In fact, not much went right for City in the first 45 minutes. Bolton, tipped as one of the Premiership strugglers, were playing more like potential champions. At least one thing improved in the second half, only one more goal conceded. But it was a shock to the system on the opening day. There didn't seem to be much chance of rebuilding a bit of confidence in the next match. A trip to Highbury for Arsenal's first home game of the season. In the end, City were happy to escape with a 4-goal defeat, as Arsenal showed the sort of form that will win them the Premiership. Ljungberg and Wiltord scored in the first half. Henry and Kanu in the second. City had been shell-shocked by 9 goals conceded in 2 games. Something needed to be done to prevent another heavy defeat. And City showed great character in managing to take their first point in this match. Stewart scored for Ipswich, but a stoppage time goal from Dean Sturridge lifted spirits. And that was followed by City's first win. The trip to Blackpool in the Worthington Cup saw Adiakim Bai take City through to round 3. Things were looking up.
Quite easily to just lob that ball into the danger zone. It was a great contact, very, very comfortably. And that will...
And things got even better as City won their first Premiership match in a highly charged game at Pride Park. Dion Burton put Derby ahead, but a cheeky leveller from Dean Sturridge against his old club set up a second-half thriller. Sturridge grabbed a second against Derby, again looking sharp. But a penalty late in the game put away by Ravanelli looked to have robbed City of a point. But Robbie Savage's run produced a City spot kick. And despite the protests, Muzzy Izzet was cool under pressure. A 10th minute goal from Matt Jones suggested that the good run would continue. But Paul Ince had other ideas. His goal came 5 minutes from time. And while that was a bit of a disappointment, worse was to follow. City's defence was stretched and Greening won it for Borough. A battling performance against Fulham earned another point, and the Borough defeat was looking like a slight aberration. City could have won that one and were unfortunate to lose at St James's Park. Solano's goal, the difference between the sides. A good first half at Charlton, but 2 second-half goals meant City came away with nothing again. Scoring was proving to be the biggest problem. But not for Charlton, unfortunately. That defeat at Charlton turned out to be manager Peter Taylor's last in charge. Coach Gary Parker was in the hot seat for the cup tie with Leeds, and it proved to be a very hot seat. Leeds were at the top of their game, with Robbie Keane getting a hat-trick, and Bakker, Viduka and Kuehl also finding the net. It was a real trouncing, and City acted quickly to bring in a new management team. Dave Bassett and Mickey Adams taking over. There was plenty of effort and spirit in the game against Chelsea, but a Hasselbank penalty, followed by a Gudjonsson strike in the first half, gave Chelsea the points. Another one of the top teams visited Filbert Street for the next match. It was a personal triumph for Robbie Fowler, who plundered a hat-trick. Sami Hyypiä also waded in with a goal as City found their backs to the wall for most of the match.
And he has plenty of support, including Robbie Fowler, and Liverpool lead by 3 goals.
Dennis Wise did get one back for City, but it was a rare break from the Liverpool onslaught. And as for Fowler, he was looking sharp right until the end of the game.
Leicester City's interest in this game. Turned into Robbie Fowler. Walks away to complete a hat-trick.
And when City did manage to hold things together at the back, finding the net was still difficult. Adi Akinbaye unlucky this time. But Akinbaye was in luck in the next match, his persistence earning City 3 points and sparking off wild celebrations from a relieved player, his teammates and supporters too.
Miracles do happen.
Managing to keep that winning habit going was the trick. The trip to Old Trafford ended in defeat. Ruud van Nistelrooy and Dwight York finding a way past the City defence.
2-0 Manchester United.
Another draw and more thoughts of what might have been a frustrating time. The start of December was to bring hope of a revival. Adi Akinbaye scoring after 12 minutes. And James Scowcroft getting his first for City. Every time City turned the corner, they seemed to find a big brick wall. Southampton put on a super second-half show at Filbert Street. Svensson had scored early, Beattie added a second. Svensson his second goal. And Bahar's got one in stoppage time. After their 6-goal thrashing by Leeds earlier in the season, a trip to Elland Road was approached with some trepidation. And after Kuehl had scored, City could have collapsed, but they showed mental strength again to keep looking to get something from the game. Viduka made it 2-0 with half an hour to go. But Brian Dean's smart finish set up a thrilling finale. For once, Leeds were hanging on, and James Scowcroft took advantage to earn City a well-deserved point. City made a good start against the Hammers. Muzzy Izzet, rasping drive, taking a deflection on its way past David James. But Joe Cole won a hotly disputed penalty. And Di Canio gave West Ham a point. But it wasn't a happy Christmas for Leicester. At Portman Road, Bent and Peralta scored the goals as Ipswich won 2-0. But there was no danger of City caving in. Bolton may have scored 5 at Filbert Street, but they were lucky to get away with a point from this one. A Ricketts' own goal and Brian Dean's headed effort put City in charge. But Bolton came back through Nolan, and then Ricketts struck deep into stoppage time. Disaster for Leicester. The FA Cup provided a bit of relief from the pressures of the Premiership. James Scowcroft's far post header was cancelled out by Chris Greenacre. But another well-placed header from Scowcroft took City through to round 4. City had seen enough of Paolo Di Canio at Filbert Street with his match-saving penalty, and he was there for a match-winning strike at Upton Park. Another draw, and 2 more points slipped away from City. Arsenal were unstoppable at Filbert Street. Van Bronckhorst put them in front. And Henry made it 2 before half-time. But it wasn't as comfortable a match for them as the one at Highbury, and Muzzy Izzet ensured a nervous last quarter for the Premiership title chasers. Wiltord finally wrapped it up for Arsenal, but very late indeed. West Brom, on their way eventually to a Premiership place, edged City out of the cup in a tight tie at the Hawthorns. Then Emil Heskey did what many players do against their old clubs. It turned out to be the only goal of the game. If that was hard to take, then the defeat by Chelsea was even harder. James Scowcroft used his head to put City in front, but a second half Hasselbank header made it 1-1. Back came City again, Scowcroft unerring from another set piece. But Chelsea had their own set-piece surprises. Zola pulling the game back to 2-2. And once again, a late goal meant City came away with nothing. The trip to Spurs didn't make things better. Anderton gave the home side the lead. And Davis nipped in for a second. A super strike from Steph Oakes came too late to save a point. Having pinched the points at Pride Park, City were outgunned in the second half of the return meeting. King Clancy got Derby's first, Strupar hit the second, and Morris managed a late third. It was a disappointing run of results, not improved by Frank Sinclair's unfortunate own goal in this match. The one consistent theme during this time was the quality of James Scowcroft's heading. Again though, it wasn't enough to take the points. Ewell scoring for Charlton. Now the next match gave City a chance to erase the memory of Southampton's 4-0 win at Filbert Street. This time Brian Deane upstaged James Scowcroft with his heading prowess and then gave City a 2-0 lead. But even that wasn't enough. Pahar's goal made it 2-1. And he was there again to slot in a penalty to make it 2-2. Leeds were next to arrive at Filbert Street. First half goals from Viduka and Fowler, adding to the goals he scored against City for Liverpool, gave Leeds the win. Time was running out, but City were going down fighting. A real Route 1 goal for Paul Dickoff gave them the lead. But Blackburn levelled. Scorer, Mark Hughes. But Dickoff's second gave Leicester victory. Then gloom at the Stadium of Light. Claudio Reyna gave Sunderland the lead. And Leicester's goal, was it Elliott? Was it Dickoff who scored? Well, it was Dickoff who claimed it. But then Reyna got his second and Sunderland's winner. City had shown plenty of determination and character for little reward at times. This was another example. Solskjaer with the only goal. At Goodison Park, Brian Deane gave City the lead with a smart finish. He then took advantage of a defensive mix-up. With 27 minutes gone, City were 2 up. But Chadwick started a second half revival for Everton. And Everton supporters were given more to cheer when Ferguson found space. Villa took the lead at Filbert Street through Vassell, but there was a lot more excitement to come. Lee Marshall was upended. Muzzy Izzet drilled the ball in. But Hitzelsberger weaved his way through for Villa's second. But John Stevenson equalised, his first goal for the club. Goalless at Filbert Street, goalless in London too. Paul Dickhoff was closest. And so on to the final game at Filbert Street ever. City obviously wanted to round off 111 years of history with a win, but a Sheringham penalty threatened that. But on the hour, City drew level. Dickhoff with the sweetest of strikes. And it looks even better on the replay. Now, how about this one for the video scrapbook? A Filbert Street hero was needed, and up stepped Matt Piper. Now, this was his first goal for the club. The celebrations were ecstatic. And one former striker knew exactly how Piper was feeling. And Mickey Adams was unbeaten since taking over as manager. So a goal for Matt Piper. Calmness from Mickey Adams. There was also special applause for Muzzy Izzet for all he'd done for the club, with so much speculation over an impending move from City. The party started as soon as the final whistle went, as City fans and players got used to the idea that this was the last time they'd see league football at Filbert Street. But there was an exciting new home waiting.
It's very exciting to see the virtual reality and to get a feeling of what it will be like to be within the stadium. Every seat is going to have an unobstructed view of the pitch, and the angle of seats one above the other is much higher pitch than at Filbert Street. So everybody's going to have a very clear view of the pitch and going to be relatively close to it. I think that it will have a bowl atmosphere, and that will be a strong Leicester City atmosphere behind our team, I believe.
A Muzzy Is It free kick away from Filbert Street was the site which was to be transformed from virtual reality to solid reality. It didn't look too exciting when the diggers moved in, but it wasn't long before they were playing football there. The perch in goal was as athletic as ever. The chairman then risked life and limb to attach the golden nut and bolt to a rapidly growing framework. By now, the shapes of the stands were visible. And Dave Bassett put on hard hat to check out facilities for himself, getting a bird's eye view.
I don't want to go backwards.
It's the first time I've been to the stadium. I've seen it from a distance, but it's the first time on site, and they're progressing well, and it augurs well when you look at the stadiums now. They're all enclosed, and from the pitch being round, it's just what you want, really. It's the way forward.
And the way forward was arriving at some pace. Construction of the impressive glass-fronted West Stand was soon to follow, and James Scowcroft was another keen to see where he'd be working next season, even though the pitch still needed a little watering.
First impressions are, it's a very impressive stadium, and I think it's going to be a credit to Leicester City Football Club.
Yeah, so you'll be looking forward to playing in it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure, 30-odd thousand people, if we can fill it every week, it'll be a great atmosphere.
Now, fortunately, this isn't part of the seating arrangements. The real seats were going in, and the roof would be next. It was obvious, even at this stage, that it was going to be one of the most imposing new grounds in the country. And when it came to the open day, the fans turned up with as much excitement as if it was an important home game. Some had even dressed for the part. Whatever the feelings they had about the old ground, there was plenty of fascination about what the new home had to offer.
Leicester!
Quite impressive, actually. It's, at the minute, hard to imagine 32,000 being in here, but yeah, looking forward to it opening.
Really like it, definitely. Looking forward to coming here.
You can decide where you're going to sit?
Yeah, we've bought the seats, and they're just behind the goal there, level with the 6-yard box. Booked them a few months ago, so as soon as I could, got them ordered.
I think it's looking very good, yes. Quite excited about it. We've already booked our season tickets for next year, so yeah, very nice.
Very impressive, and look forward to the first game.
Not worried about them going down?
No, I think it's a good thing we're going down in a funny way, because there'll be more excitement generated when we're in the top 4 or 5 next season. And fighting for promotion will be better than staving off relegation, And there'll be more excitement. All the local derbies, that helps. So I'm looking forward to next season. I'm quite positive, actually. I think it's a good thing in a way. It's like a new beginning.
The defining touch, the famous Fox's badge, gave the Walkers Stadium a finished feel. And inside, the grass was beginning to come through. It was now a question of final adjustments and fine-tuning, putting in the seating. and doing a bit of landscaping as well. And so to the cutting of the ribbon, with Leicester City's most famous former striker, Gary Lineker, doing the honours.
Gary, how's it feel to have part of a stadium named after you?
Well, I think it's flattering in many ways. Obviously, with my association with Leicester and, of course, Walkers, people are well aware of that. So, I mean, it's very nice. I don't feel old enough, though, somehow, to have a stand
none of us
named
do,
after me.
actually.
Yeah, no, I think we've been around a while.
Yeah,
so,
a while.
No, it's great. And obviously, I'm a huge Leicester fan, and I hope to get the chance to come along and sit in it on a few occasions this season, with Leicester at the right end of the table.
Correct. And you don't miss Filbert Street then? Yet?
Well, I think we've all got great memories of Filbert Street. Me in particular had some wonderful years there and some great moments, but you know, they were never ever going to be able to change Filbert Street into anything special because of the obvious restrictions. So I think it was a great move to come to a stadium like this, to build one. And I mean, it's fantastic. Just look at it. I mean, it's infinitely better than Filbert Street. Despite the nostalgia and stuff, and I'm sure it'll create a great atmosphere. Just need a good team to play in it. Hopefully Leicester can go well and get back into the Premiership, because that's vital.
Which one's your seat then?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I
Choose anyone you like.
I wasn't sure which one was my stand. They said the North stand. I was going, right, which one would that be? But no, it's what a lovely stand it is.
It is a very nice stand.
It's a lovely
indeed.
stand.
I used to go to all the matches and used to go to the double-decker stand, and it was 7 and 6 in all money those days. And they used to, have the old leather boots, woolen socks, and it was really football in those days. And you'd sit we used to sit in the double-decker, and the snow used to blow in our faces. Crikey.
Of course, those days there was no segregation of fans, everybody mixed, and there was, no fighting at all, Everybody seemed to have a good time those days. To get into the ground when I was very young, we used to get between somebody's legs and crawl under the turnstiles as they went through to get in for free. I don't think they do that nowadays.
We've been here since 1976, when Leicester City used to be in used to be the old First Division. And I thoroughly like it here. It's nice. Just to see players like Gary McAllister used to come in, Ali Mauchline, Gary Lineker, Alan Smith, Mark Wallington, who's now at Lincoln. And the current squad, I had Muzi come in. Muzi is it. Emil Heskey used to be here as well.
Leicester City, with 2.5 minutes to spare, are back on terms.
When they used to get new players, they used to come in the kitchen, they discuss, this I'm going back years ago. They used to come and discuss little things in my little kitchen, you see.
I used to spend all day, every day for about a year down there, and I got the name of the Ghost of Leicester City through spending all the time down there, and all my friends used to call me Ghost at that time.
Gary used to come in years ago and I remember once when my mum served him with Embassy filter, and we were all shocked, when he asked for them. But he said, that we all have some few bad habits, and he used to smoke Embassy filter at those times.
I go and sit in the front on match days and see all the kiddies in all the gear, A little tiny tops, only about 2.5 or 3, and it's great. And when there's some big matches, with a bit of trouble, bring the horses down, and they're great. There was a night match one night, and after the match had finished, I could hear some noise outside of my front door. Went in the front to have a look. There was a horse with its backside in my window. I thought, oh my God, it's coming in soon.
The main rush with the away fans, with the home fans, you get a mixture of both. They come in at about between 2 o'clock onwards, and from 2 till 3, you know, you're just having, you're just serving the customers with your head down and just taking the money. To be honest with you, I've never experienced any trouble whatsoever. It's, you know, the home fans are lovely, the away fans are okay as well. They're not too bad. You might get an odd one, but again, the majority of the fans inside, inside the shop, they tell them to just calm down. There's no need for that. So it's nice.
Supporters used to come on the trams and push bikes, and many of the houses, the youngsters around here, used to store bikes in the backyard for I think about twopence or threepence a time, until the supporters came out after the match.
Just come down the entry, down this entry, climb over there on the just on the roof there, to sit there. I've had more than 3 balls. I had a budgie on the stand by the window, and I thought so. I heard a swish, and I thought, whatever's that? And I looked at it, there was a ball in the yard. It had knocked the cage over.
1947, it was that cold, your feet stuck to the floor in Filbert Street, and even at one particular time, a policeman had to help me to move my feet, because it was that cold I was close to the ground, you know.
Been to all the Wembley finals which we've been into, the Worthington Cup finals. The lovely excitement was when we go to the Premiership and Stevie Claridge scored one of them dodgy goals, but that was a good laugh.
And the last people to play on the Filbert Street pitch were the people who graced it over the years. What a farewell party. Among those involved, Tommy Williams, Colin Gibson, Dennis Roth, Ian Wilson, Paul Ramsey, Peter Welch, Steve Lynex, Mark Bright, Kevin MacDonald, Lenny Glover, all looking older, but some looking fitter than others. But every one of them part of the history of the old ground. Frank Worthington kicked off. David Speedy was involved as ever. And Mark Bright found Carl Muggleton a formidable opponent. And the Birch could soon have another nickname, beginning with a B after this. Sorry, Birch. They never lose it, you know, the talent that is. Trevor Christie proved that. And Frank Worthington still entertained. Fantastic stuff. And the Birch was back on. Then it was the turn of the younger players. Stan the Man turned up. And Gary McAllister, who came to Leicester City as a teenager with hair, was passing the ball around gracefully. There were some great goals for the crowd to watch. It really was party night. And Julian Joachim showed he's still got that electric pace. The celebrations were going to carry on well into the night. Well, Steve Walsh had to play a major part. Now, perhaps it was fitting that Steve Walsh should commit the final foul at Filbert Street. And also, perhaps, it was a tribute that he would score the last goal. Now, how he got to take the penalty is a mystery, but Walshy managed to extend the drama. And that was it, almost. Why was this one retaken? With no mistake that time. Very exclusive Leicester club out there on that field.
It's been absolutely fantastic, these guys coming back, but there are some other guys that these guys wish to acknowledge as well, and let me just read the list out that's going to come back on, and what I'd like you all to do when the list is finished, for the very last time please, I want everybody in the stadium just to stand up. And what's going to happen, I know it sounds a bit schmaltzy, but we will never come back to Filbert Street again. We're just going to link arms, everybody stand up, we're going to do old lang syne, lights are going to go out, and that's it then forever, after 112 years.
Some of the greats paraded onto the field. Peter Shilton there. Just too many famous faces to mention. One recent one there in Neil Lennon. Enough players here from the old Leicester City for about a week's five-a-side tournament. And still they kept coming. Ali Mocklin. Wertho himself. Well, this is the biggest squad ever assembled at Leicester. Imagine the wages for this lot. Time for player spotting again. Schultz and Sam together. John Samuels and Peter Shilton. Is that the most expensive Leicester City squad ever assembled? What a lineup! How could you select the best 11 out of this lot? Well, hardly a dry eye in the house. And a very emotional moment as the lights went out for the last time. So the new era was about to begin, though. Out with the old, in with the new. Now open for business. The visitors to the Walkers Stadium for the first game were Spanish side Atletico Bilbao. The seniors at the Walkers Stadium. And the Leicester supporters too. 32,000 packed in the ground this historic occasion. Now that was about an hour before the kickoff. So Matt Elliott, club skipper, led his side onto the hallowed Walkers Stadium turf the very first time. Now this was to be a friendly. Well, so they said. There was quite an edge to this game. Paul Dickoff, as ever, wanted desperately to win. And he was desperately unlucky, bouncing the ball off the crossbar. A bit unlucky again, losing balance after a great turn. And Jerry Taggart was as uncompromising as ever. After all, it is a friendly, Jerry. Well, as the friendly continued, Matt Elliott gave blood for the cause. And we had an early departure. The first red card at the Walkers Stadium. In fact, it was as warm as the weather out there. Ah, you can't beat a friendly, can you? Red cards, red blood, players seeing red. And a few minor skirmishes too. Friendly, very friendly. Leicester came close to scoring on several occasions. But it was Atletico Bilbao who had the distinction of scoring the first ever goal at the Walkers Stadium. Muzzy is it, back from the World Cup, close to scoring for Leicester. James Scowcroft also on target. But it was Jordan Stewart who had the honour of being the first Leicester player to score at the new stadium. It also meant the opening game didn't end in defeat.